RPA projects often require a level of UI automation. UiPath has introduced a new way of dealing with UI elements in the latest version of UiPath Studio. They call this the modern design experience. This can be enabled at the project level or at the studio level. Once enabled, you will get to see all the new capabilities. UiPath has made significant improvements here in the object repository. The object repository can now store the UI elements that you might want to interact with. You can see here that they will be available as a tree of elements that you can simply drag and drop to use in your workflow. These UI elements can be from multiple applications or from multiple screens and so forth. To start populating the repository, I am going to click the Capture Elements button under the Object Repository pane here. This opens up the Capture Elements window. Now click the Record button and see that I am pointing towards the application that I want to capture elements from. You can see here once I hover the mouse on the different elements on the screen, it gets highlighted in green. Now I click on this New Supplier button or the Export CSV button that I want to interact with. You can see that the element gets added instantly to the repository under this tree. You can change the name of the screen appropriately. I name it Home as it's the home page of my application. And let me also set the application version here. So I have a home page, and under home page I also have these two elements. Now I will first click on the New Supplier button. The New Supplier screen is open now. So I have to click Add Screen to add the new supplier screen. Let me name it Supplier Details, as this screen will be used to add or edit suppliers. In the screen, I will start adding new elements. Say for example, I will add the internal name element. I also add the external name here, and then I will add the description. Now if you notice a few things here, first of all, when I am adding new elements, you can see here that it's not only identifying the element that you want to work with, but it also automatically identifies the anchor. Maybe if you're not familiar with what an anchor is, think of it like a label of that element, and whenever UiPath tries to identify an element at runtime, it will not only use this target selector, but will also use one or more anchors for that particular element. Okay, so this actually makes your automation a lot more resilient to app level changes. You may have seen many of the modern web apps that you are interacting with shall have dynamically generated content. That means the selectors of HTML elements shall change with every page refresh. So with this technique, working with anchors plus elements plus the concept of a fuzzy selector enables UiPath to identify elements even if the application used in automation undergoes slight changes. So I added 3 UI elements. Let me add the Save button and then the Cancel button as well. The other thing to note here is that the name of the elements that are being added are automatically taken from the label of the element for easy understanding. Now that I will hit Save, and this will actually add these elements here in my automation. And now I have my repository and I want to start building the automation. Let me create a sequence. Now I will drag the home page here, and automatically you can see that a user application browser scope has been added in my automation, which means I want to work with this particular browser and with this application. And then under here, I want to click the New Supplier button. So I will drag and drop the New Supplier element from the object repository. And as I do this, you can see here a list of proposed activities that I can add to interact with that particular element. And you see that being a button, click is the one shown here as topmost activity. Let me select it. Now for internal name, let me drag, and I am going to type maybe test. And then I will do the same for external name. Okay, again drag and drop. I will type test again. Then I want to click save. So now I am clicking the save button, and this completes the action. Let me show you yet another feature that helps UiPath to be more resilient. This is something introduced new in the latest version of the product. When you click a button, for example, this New Supplier button, you want to make sure that the click was successful. Sometimes because of various reasons, the click might not actually go through. So when I click New Supplier, I want to verify that it went through, and here is how you can do that. I want to validate if this window shows up correctly, and I want to make sure, for example, that the save button in this screen is visible. So in this new supplier click activity, I come here and add a new verification step. Again, this is something new, and what I want to verify in this case is that the save button appears. Similarly, we can add the verification for type into activity. Because it's a type activity, it's going to be slightly different type of verification here. And it's going to verify that whatever I wanted to type here is what gets typed. Good. Now we have our automation to run. So let me go ahead and run it. Let's see what it does. The robot clicks the new supplier button, starts typing in internal and external names, hits the save button, and everything worked just fine. Once you're done creating the object repository for your project, you can also extract it as a UI library by clicking the button here on the top right. So this can now be included as a dependency in your project. This enables you to share it with your team and can be reused not only within the current automation, but also across multiple automations that uses the same UI across your projects and teams. Of course, this package can be version controlled as well. This would be very helpful to deal with various application UI changes, and you can make sure you are using the correct package version that works for the specific version of application. Well, thanks for watching. If you want to watch more videos like this in future, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get a notification anytime I add new content like this. Alright, that's all I have for you today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time soon. Bye for now.